What got you involved in activism here in the city of Newburgh?
Yeah. So growing up here, I am first generation. My parents came to Newburgh in the late 80s. And I grew up in a working class family. My parents always taught me what it means to work hard. They never gave up. And I just had the example of just two parents that never put excuses. But there was hardship. There was a lot of struggle. And so when things happened last year with all the civil unrest, it really hit home for many reasons, not just because of my upbringing. My career has been in the public sector for the past 10 years. And so I really have a deep connection and understanding to all the inequities in our society and here in our own community. So that's what really prompted me to want to get more vocal, because I have been in some behind the scenes role, but not necessarily in vocal front row and center roles.
So what is next? Like, what's your next endeavor? It seems like you're going on a path here. What's your next endeavor?
Yeah, well, I am currently running for Orange County Legislature in District 6, representing Wards 3 and 4 in the city of Newburgh, and Wards 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the town. It's really, to me, a natural succession of my career and my education. I got my master's in public administration. Like I said, I've been in the public sector since I was 19 years old, including doing work here in our own community. I chair the City of Newburgh Human Rights Commission. I co-chair the Strategic Economic Development Advisory Committee here in the city. And I also am on the board of directors for Safe Harbor. So I feel like my education, my career, and most importantly, my personal lived experiences just really created a path for me to want to make the decision to run for office, because representation matters.
So, politics is a male-dominated space. Many men who claim to hold feminine values still, they don't want to make space for women in politics. They still want to keep the control. What do you think of that?
I think that it's not our job as women to try to convince men to make space for us. I think, we have to be unapologetic and understand our value, understand that we are just equally as experienced and able to take up space in politics. And the reality is that, going back to representation and why it matters, we've seen some of the impacts that have come from men dominating that space and how detrimental it's been on women, especially women of color. And so we really need to understand that we also belong in those spaces. So to that I say, it's not our job to convince men of that, it's our job to convince ourselves of that and just have the courage and take the leap of faith.
That sounds great, and I really wish you luck on that campaign.
Thank you.
How do you see the future of Newburgh, both the city and the town?
Yeah. Well, the city and the town of Newburgh are just beautiful, multicultural, diverse. It's just such an amazing place with so much culture and diversity, and it has so much potential for growth. Economic development is a big part of my platform, but equitable economic development, because as we all know, the times are changing and we are seeing displacement. We are seeing the cost of living and housing going up tremendously in our area. And I really envision a place where all families of all backgrounds can thrive, and where we have more opportunities for our youth, where we have better paying jobs, where we have connection to jobs and public transportation, where we have more equitable health outcomes for individuals in our community, because we are disproportionately affected in areas such as diabetes and heart disease and STDs in our community. And so there's just so much work ahead, but I am more than ready to be part of the solution.
And I myself see that you could be a mentor to younger women. Even though you're much younger than I am. But I just see you as a mentor to younger women. How do you feel about that? Is there any women you're mentoring? Any plans for that?
Yeah, so I love that question, because I always say, who challenged or who inspired you, who motivates you? someone somewhere took a leap of faith into the unknown. Someone somewhere took that risk and took that challenge. They made that decision that they were so afraid of. And so there's always someone who has done it or has done something similar, right? And if anything, regardless of the outcome of this race, like, this is my life's work, so this is what I'm going to be dedicated to for the rest of my life. And my overarching really goal here is to send the message that anyone can do this, right? I didn't come from money, and I still am not from money, and I don't come from certain privileges, but yet I took the leap of faith. And so in terms of mentoring, I'm always open to have conversations. I'm always open to let other women and young women know, what path, because politics, it doesn't have to be politics. It can be art, it can be business, it can be education. It doesn't matter, but we all need someone that we can relate to and that ultimately can inspire us.
Well, congratulations. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And I will definitely be following your career.
Thank you.
You're welcome.